So Scarlett Johansson on the big screen. And with that, I'm working with to another episode of The Real Mentor, where my goal is always is to enhance your movie watching experience. So Ghost in the Shell, admittedly, I'm very unfamiliar with this property. I know there's a big following, a lot of the anime fans. I think it was a comic and a TV series as well. I have virtually almost no knowledge of this at all, which I was kind of happy about because I have no preconceived notions going into it, no real expectations, nothing to really compare it to. So I can get a good, nice, objective opinion about this particular movie. So for those of you like myself unfamiliar with what this movie is about, or even the properties, here we have, it takes place sometime in the future. Obviously, it's a world where humans and robotics have kind of begun to merge together. Everyone seems to be getting enhancements to some sort, whether it be the eyes or even the liver or body parts, whatever the case is. And now we have Scarlett Johansson's character, who plays a first of a kind. She's actually someone whose brain was taken before she died and put in a completely robotic shell, if you will. So given that Scarlett Johansson's character, known as Major, has these new robotic enhancements in her beautifully sculpted body, she's obviously used as a weapon. She's part of this secret government agency of sorts. They don't really get into exactly what or who they are, which is kind of strange. But nonetheless, she's out there investigating the series of murders, I guess. They stumbled upon this cyber terrorist, if you will, and they try to stop him. And while doing so, she's set on a path of discovery about her past, of who and what she really is. It sounds kind of interesting, but unfortunately, the movie doesn't really make it that interesting. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't a bad movie per se. It's just kind of, again, middle of the road here, and it should have been so much more. On the positive side, I would say the visuals are great. This movie looks fantastic, and I'm not just talking about the special effects or some of the cool shots. Some of the action is actually pretty well done, but just the world that's created itself and what you're immersed in is very, very cool, very realistic in terms of something we could see our world looking in 50 years or however how far this set in the future is. But it's very reminiscent. It borrows a lot of things from a lot of science fiction movies, but the look itself is very reminiscent, particular to Blade Runner. Same kind of feel to this world and all that. And it is cool. It's great. It's fascinating. It looks great on the big screen and all that. But that aside, everything else kind of falls by the wayside. Particularly, and it starts with the story itself, which certainly surprised me. I believe Ruben, the director of this, he was the director of Snow White and the Huntsman, and that had the same problems where it looked cool, had a great visuals, but nothing else. With Scarlett Johansson, she was way too talented to be wasted in this role. My issue with this is that you just don't care about her or the other characters. The other characters, aside from her, they're very ancillary characters. They're very one note, not much to them. Her partner is pretty cool, but they don't explore. They're not developed at all in this movie. And Johansson herself, who's supposed to be really more human and supposed to have this soul in this robot, this ghost as they refer to, and she doesn't reflect much of it. This whole movie has no soul at the end of the day. You just don't care about her. She spends more time acting like a robot than a human, so it's not very relatable. You're not really invested in her, which is a shame because this could have been a really cool character, but you just don't care. She's very bland, and someone who should be, I guess I understand she's struggling with the fact that who she is and what she is, and being human in this kind of, with that kind of body and being the only one of her kind. But they don't explore enough to where you really give a shit about it. You really don't. And the major reveal is, kind of bland, nothing really exciting. It wasn't a major reveal to begin with. When she discovers what she is, it's kind of blasé, if you ask me. I just didn't find any interest in it. Aside from the visuals and some of the cool action, again, it's just very uninteresting. Like I said, it's not terrible, but it's not something I can say, you guys go out and definitely go watch this in the theater, which is a shame because this is a movie I was really excited about, and it does look cool. The trailers look good. But I can't imagine this movie really doing that well, even branching out into a franchise. By the end of it, I was like, I don't even care if I saw another Ghost in the Shell or not, to be honest with you. I am kind of curious what the fan base would think of this movie. Because again, I can't really compare it to the source material because I'm totally unfamiliar with it. But in essence, it's a very middle of the road movie, a little bit disappointing. I can recommend you guys watch it at home, Netflix, Amazon, whatever, down the road. But the theaters, I just can't recommend that much. Again, not a terror movie, but at the same time, a lot of pacing issues, and I was kind of bored at times. The action is cool, but it's sprinkled in too far and few in between. So ultimately, you guys, save your money, catch it down the road at home, whatever. If you're a huge fan, I get it. You're probably gonna go watch it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below as always. And of course, as always, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.